This episode is exclusively sponsored by CanWe. Get clear on what you and your date are looking for faster. CanWe is your expert guide on your dating journey. Check out the CanWe app in Apple's App Store or on Google Play. Hi there, I'm Vincent Boss and I provide dating and self-improvement advice. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing why moving on attracts dumpers. I provide audio coaching to help people try and get their ex back or get a new girlfriend or boyfriend. Check out my website for more details. www.dateme.tips. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. So now let's get back into today's podcast. And today we are discussing why moving on attracts dumpers. So if you have been dumped and want to try to get your ex back, it might surprise you to hear that I believe that moving on will increase your chance of getting your ex back. I actually prefer the term moving forward, and hence in today's podcast, I'm going to explain 3 reasons why I believe moving forward with your life will increase the chance of you getting your ex back. So let's get straight into this, and number 1 is that it aligns the scales of value. So I believe that for 2 people to have a long-lasting, successful, long-term relationship, the scales of value need to be as even as possible. So that means you must have 2 people who have similar value rather than one person who is high value and one person who is low value. Now, at the time of a breakup, the dumper automatically becomes a high value individual and the dumpee automatically becomes a low value individual. And this is because the dumper has made a decision which they wanted to happen and it has taken place. The dumpee has a decision made for them which they didn't want to happen, and hence they couldn't do anything about this, and therefore they are a low value individual. So at the time of a breakup, the dumper is high value, the dumpee is low value. And as I just explained, for you to have a successful relationship, you need to be roughly level on the scales of value. So a dumper is unlikely to want to reconnect with their dumpee. Once their dumpee is low value, the dumpee needs to raise their value. The dumpee needs to become as high a value as their former partner. But how can they do this? Well, they do this by moving forward with their life. If you're a dumpee and you move forward with your life, then you showcase yourself as somebody moving forward, living a positive life. Being positive, pushing forward are things which are going to raise your value. If you stagnate, if you're negative, this will decrease your value even further. If you're moving forward with your life, then you're less likely to be making further mistakes. You're less likely to be begging, to be pleading, to be reasoning. All of these things, if you do to your former partner, your dumper, if you beg your ex, if you plead with your ex, if you obsess over your ex, if you do these behaviours, then you will be a lower value individual than even at the time of the breakup. Once the breakup has taken place, you need to stabilise your mindset. You need to make sure that you are not making things worse. And once the dust has settled, you must accept the breakup. If you continue to beg, to plead, to reason, if you continue to text your ex, if you continue to knock on their door, if you continue to phone them up, if you do these things, then you are not accepting the breakup. If you do these things, then you showcase yourself as desperate, and that is very, very low value. So the first thing you need to do is create a stable mindset for yourself and push forward with positivity, moving forward with your life, making new connections. This will allow you to raise your value. This will allow you to align the scales of value. So now let's get into point number 2 and the second point of today's podcast about why moving on attracts dumpers. And number 2 is it gives you chance to practice and improve. So at the time of the breakup, you are feeling very low, you're feeling very confused, you are feeling very low self-esteem. But you need to raise those feelings along with your value if you are ever going to get your ex back. And something that's vital is that you maintain and improve your skill set. Being the type of person who improves every single day will reach the version 2.0 of themselves, and this is somebody who is more likely to reattract your ex. You have to accept that the version of yourself which was dumped, unfortunately, does not connect well with your former partner. The version 1 of yourself no longer connects with your ex. You must become a version 2.0 of yourself. And how do you do this? By improving every single day. Every single day you need to improve, whatever it is. Something small, something big. You need to be a better person today than you were yesterday. A better person tomorrow than you are currently today. You need to practice and improve. So once you are doing these things on a daily basis, then when you do make new connections, you can start to practice perishable skills. Dating skills in general are perishable skills. Flirting skills, communication skills, these are skills which if you don't practice them, you will get worse at. You either use it or you lose it. And if and when you hear from your ex again, you need to make sure that you are feeling good, you're feeling ready, and you are prepared. If you haven't prepared for this moment, then if and when you hear from your ex again, you will be in a position where you feel uncomfortable, you don't feel confident, and you are unlikely to reattract your ex further. If you get a text from your ex, this is wonderful, but the job is not done. You're just in the communication stage. And even if you navigate that successfully, you will eventually have to meet. So you need to be making sure that you are practicing. You practice by improving every single day, making yourself a better person today than you were yesterday, a better person tomorrow than you are today. And importantly, make sure those perishable skills are heightened. So if and when you have the opportunity to make new connections, make new connections, go on a date. Even if you aren't fully feeling it, this is an opportunity to improve your skills by communicating, by dating, by flirting, learning what seems to be improving your chances, learning what seems to be working, and making sure that you learn what doesn't seem to work. Of course, everybody is different. Of course, every connection, every date is slightly different. But you will be able to see generally what seems to give you more success with a date and what seems to give you less chance with getting a second date with somebody. Even if this isn't a long-term thing, even if you think to yourself, I'm only dating because I'm waiting for my ex, this is a great use of your time. It's much better to be dating people in your free time than sitting at home, feeling sorry for yourself, waiting for your ex, because that might never happen. You have to understand that there is no 100% guaranteed way to get your ex back, and not every dumpee will hear from their ex again. And if you are somebody who is unfortunate enough not to hear from their ex again, well, at least if you are dating, then you are getting the chance to meet new people, and who knows, you might find somebody even better than your ex sooner than you could ever have imagined. But for now, you're focusing on wanting to get your ex back, and therefore, you want to be looking at it from the perspective of practicing perishable skills, using self-improvement to get yourself in this position, and then testing these things out on dates. So look, you need to be respectful. You need to be somebody who, when you are meeting these new people, explain your thoughts and feelings, not necessarily in absolute depth, but just generally saying something such as, I'm fresh out of a breakup, I'm not really sure what I'm looking for, I just want to take things slow. If you say something like that, then the other person will understand where your mindset is, and who knows, they might be feeling something similar. I do not advocate lying to somebody. I do not advocate leading somebody on with them thinking that you might want long term when you don't. So I would suggest saying to them early as you can, look, I'm not long out of a breakup. I don't know how I feel about things. I just want to date and see how things go with no pressure. If you say this, then that is absolutely fine. You just need to move forward in a way where you keep your integrity as well as everything else. But I'm encouraging, you want to be improving, you want to be practicing, but keep your integrity. Don't lead people on. Let them know where you are right now. I'm not saying go in depth. I'm not saying, look, I'm waiting for my ex to contact me and then I'm going to disappear. Don't say that. Use your common sense. But just say you don't really know what you're looking for yet. You just want to see how things go and you want to date without pressure. that should put you in a fantastic position to be ready if and when you hear from your ex. So now let's move into point number 3 and the final point of today's podcast about why moving on attracts dumpers. And point number 3 is it shows you are a dateable option. So at the time of a breakup, the dumper ended the relationship. The dumper felt that you two did not work together as a unit moving forward in a relationship. They didn't see you as a dateable option going forward. They didn't feel fulfilled. They didn't see you as part of their romantic future. So you need to be changing that. And the best way you can do this is by dating others. If you make new connections, if you date new people, then you are somebody who is clearly a dateable option. And something that's going to work for your benefit is the concept of social proofing. Social proofing is the belief that we are influenced by the actions and the decisions of others. So if you are a dumper and you see somebody is dating your dumpee, then you automatically see that the dumpee has been dated by somebody. And you might think, you know what, that person they're dating seems to be a decent person. They seem to be a good person. They seem to be an attractive person. So if my dumpee is dating somebody who is attractive, who is interesting, who is well respected, who looks good, if my dumpee is dating somebody like this, then they must be dateable. That will automatically, through social proofing, raise your value, grow romantic emotional attraction in your ex's mind, and intrigue your dumper into the possibility of whether they made a mistake. Especially if and when the dumper hits the point in their life where they don't believe that they are living the life that they imagined, where the single life has started to flatten out, when all of a sudden things aren't as exciting, they're not as new, everything is not as good as it was during the initial single honeymoon period, the dumper will self-reflect. The dumper will think, you know what, this isn't so great, and yet my dumpee is dating other people I've seen on social media, I've heard via a friend of a friend. Whatever the way the dumper may have heard of their dumpee dating somebody new, this is something which can intrigue them. Now, of course, if you're a dumpee, you shouldn't be making this obvious to your ex. Certainly don't contact your ex. Use your common sense. Most dumpers somehow, some way, find out about their dumpee's dating life. It's something that just tends to happen. You don't need to force it. You don't need to make it obvious. Just move forward. Just enjoy your new date, and your ex will likely find out. If and when they do, they will realise that you are dateable. You are somebody who others want to spend time with, and you are somebody who your ex may want to contact and see again. So if you date other people, you are a dateable option, and this will make you intriguing to your ex-dumper, and it will, in essence, start to re-attract them by regrown romantic emotional attraction in their mindset that they are feeling for you. So I hope you've enjoyed today's podcast. I hope you can see why moving forward with your life, increases your chance of re-attracting your ex. And who knows, if you do this, you might find somebody even better. And if and when your ex contacts you, you might not even want to speak with them. It's win-win. You will either get your ex back or you will find somebody even better. If you believe that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description.
Yeah, if you miss your ex, we can help with that. Help you get him back, or we can help find you someone else. Yeah, Vincent, the relationship coach, giving you some insight, bringing you a new approach. DateMe.tips, go and check the site, giving you advice, helping with your love life. Get your ex back, or move to the next. Ain't no sweat, you know Vincent got you. Finding love ain't no problem. Yeah, DateMe.tips, check it out now.